Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone and rule well. And shalom to all the brothers doing work in sincerity and truth. Yeah. Just got two articles, and it's kind of going into how more and more, society's just pushing towards making, the max mandatory. Hello? Mandatory. And it's gonna, you've had a few companies do it in the States. I think it was United Airlines and I can't remember the other one. It'll probably mention them in the article. Okay, this is on Protocol, and it says tech CEOs were wary of the vaccine mandates. What's changing? No, that's changing. Most large tech companies are still encouraging but not requiring employees to get vaccinated. But interest in vaccine mandates has jumped since California said vaccinated workers could take off their masks. Most tech giants say they'll encourage but not require employees to get vaccinated before returning to the office. But as more companies reopen their doors, 4 software makers now say they'll turn away unvaccinated workers. Adobe, VMware, Twilio, and Asana are all mandating vaccines for those who come in this summer. The 4 companies said in June their departure from a norm the industry leaders departure from a norm the industry leaders like Google and Facebook set earlier this year. Yeah. Okay. So a few months ago, it was very much like we don't want to do that. We don't want to require vaccination, said Shiva Gassemi Vani, a partner in employment practices and litigation groups of the Silicon Valley law firm Fenwick and West. That's still the norm. Facebook, Google, Amazon, and Microsoft are among the big names that are not imposing vaccine mandates. But in the last few weeks, Gassemi Vani has been fielding more calls from clients who want to know how they can require employees to get vaccinated, which potential legal issues they need to avoid, and how to accommodate employees who refuse. It's a total pendulum swing at this point, but it's definitely gaining momentum. Gassemi Vani said, I'll be interested to see in the fall and then through Q1 of 2022 what employers end up doing. Yeah. So it's flipped, and tech is one of the areas where it's flipped. So it says, why vaccine mandates are gaining steam. Employers seem to be getting more confident about requiring a vaccine thanks to recent mandates and guidance from local, state, and federal agencies, Gassemi Vani said. First came an FAQ from the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, which says anti-discrimination laws don't bar employers from requiring on-site workers to get vaccinated. They still have to accommodate those who refuse for religious or medical reasons. Yeah. So, then last month, the California Division of Occupational Safety and Health said vaccinated employees could go without work at the workplace. I think that's what that has really prompted this. This is where I've seen the most uptick in outbound calls. If our vaccinated employees can go maskless, even better of an incentive to have them be vaccinated. Well, yeah, getting that, that small crumb of, of freedom bread. Yeah, freedom back. That's, that's what people are desiring, man. And that's really, it's gonna be compliance because it will allow them to go back to enjoying society. as they previously did, man, as they were before. That's what um that's what's got them invested. So this is on Medical Express as well. It says compulsory jabs, pressure grows on anti-vaxxers. A growing number of countries and territories around the world are forcing people, often in specific sectors, to be vaccinated against C-19. Heads Roundup, mandatory in Tajikistan, Vatican. Tajikistan and the Vatican are among the rare countries imposing vaccines on all adults. In ex-Soviet Tajikistan, the official news agency has published a government decree obliging all over 18s to be vaccinated without giving further details. In the Vatican, the world's smallest state, vaccinations were made obligatory for residents and workers in February, with those refusing liable to be sacked. Funny as well. It's like the Vatican, them like getting vaccinated. That's against the scriptures, but that's why it's like the Vatican. That's a part of Esau's power structure. That's one unclean frogs, man. It's not, they ain't got anything to do with the scriptures or righteousness. They're about the world. That's why the Pope, where he goes around, he pushes out that one world order vibration, man, bringing together all the religions, bringing all the people together under that same pagan worship. That's what they're dealing with. So this is Italy. Several countries or countries or territories have imposed vaccinations on certain sectors of the population. Italian doctors and health workers in the public and private sector must get vaccinated or face being banned from working directly with patients. A group of 300 Italian health workers have gone to court to try to get the obligation overturned, and a hearing is scheduled on July 14th. So yeah, it's that's the thing. Oh yeah, Britain as well. So on June 16th, the British government announced all care home staff in England will need to be fully vaccinated. I think I did a video when that happened. And it says if approved by Parliament, the new legislation means anyone working in a care home must have 2 doses of the vaccine from October unless they have a medical exemption. The rules will apply to all workers employed directly by the care home, as well as the agency workers and volunteers. Yeah. And then Russia, Kazakhstan, and then US. So in the US says the city of San Francisco has announced it will require all municipal employees to be vaccinated, or they could face penalties up to and including dismissal. The new rule will not take effect until the vaccines have received full approval from the FDA, which has so far given a green light for them to use on an emergency basis due to the pandemic. More than 150 employees at the Houston Methodist Hospital in Texas have already been fired or resigned after failing to comply with the orders to get. How can that even happen when they said the city of San Francisco? So these men are just jumping the gun. Because they said it can only be mandatory underneath the when it's fully approved. So yeah, they're probably gonna get sued. And then France, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan as well, and it's mostly localized areas. That's like it's mostly localized areas. Where it's being made mandatory, and that's it starts that's the thing. It's like once you've the dam's broken on we can say this is a thing that people have to get in certain areas, then you just keep expanding the scope, because that's the thing. It's like because for summer there it's the spirit seems to be like they're trying to make it so everything looks like it's all going back to normal, but it's gonna flip to what do you call it? It's gonna flip to in come autumn, September times, when the boosters are out, and then more likely than not, it's looking like the lockdown's gonna return and whatnot. But then it might even be where they say, look, you have to be locked down, but if you get it, then okay, you can have more liberty. And people will have spent the summer. Football will have come home, and they've spent the summer blissing it off. So they ain't gonna be ready to they ain't gonna be ready to go to what do you call it, to go back in, man. It's gonna be a bit too much. Is it 55? Yeah. Psalms 55 and 20. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. And this, this is the thing with Esau is looking historically. There's no, if you're if you're a Jake, you got every reason to be completely skeptical of what Esau's pushing out when you look historically at what's gone down. Because that's the thing is, and it's kind of funny because everyone now, it's really, you can see the process of the last few months, well, like year and a few months, has destroyed people's mindset, their their ability to deal with what do you call it, man, to accept, to resist. That's the word. And that's why it's like now, even though it's like, oh, nah, they're just, compliance is all they're seeing. So it says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Yeah, and that's the thing. Esau's words are smooth. It's funny because like every phase of this lockdown, they've said one thing and then flipped on it, and then said another thing and flipped on it, and that's all you've seen. But everyone at every point has just followed after. They've just been like, okay, yeah, whatever, we'll do it. Because they're done, man. They ain't got a bone to resist at this point. These guys are toast. But that's why, yeah, it's hey, people are gonna be caught out here, man. Okay. So it says, Revelation 13 and 12, and it says, and he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And that's the mindset everyone's been in, man. They've been in the mindset of worshipping the rebirth of the Roman Empire, Esau's power structure being reformed. That's that's become, like, as far as people see it, in their mindset, they're just like, yeah, it's they can't see a world without Esau ruling. That's how involved they've become in it. And this is why any and everything Esau pushes out, it's accepted, man. People run with it. And it says what? And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had the power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. Yeah, so everyone on the earth's been deceived by Esau, him displaying his power with the nuclear missiles, with his airstrikes as well. That, him being able to make fire come from heaven, his military might, and even the technology he's been given People are looking at, these iPhones, these computers, and uh, all these electricity and all these different things that Esau's been given the means to utilize. They're really looking like, yo, can anyone even? They're all thinking like, yo, we're just monkeys swinging off trees in Africa. But how are we gonna come against? Fucking hell! How are we gonna come against that? Um, but that's why it's a deception, because all that Esau's done, all these kingdom he's built, is built of lies. He's gone round and robbed and stolen cultures and all forms of things. Like pretty much everything Esau gets, it goes back to the ancient world, and he's just come and done it his own way. And even the way Esau achieves things is through destruction, man. A lot of how Esau's able to maintain his society, okay, it's through destruction. It's not sustainable, man. This is why everyone's getting all jacked up and messed up, man. And it says what okay, so everyone made the image, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Yeah, so in the end it comes down to that mark. The whole mindset of worshipping the image, worshipping, or all the manner and method of Esau's society, all the different philosophies that he pushes out onto the people, the mindset that he has everyone in, where they're thinking about celebrity culture and this music industry, and making, thinking about dollars. They're thinking about getting the American dream, the wife, the kids, the house, the white picket fence. They're all in their mind. That's where they're at, man. They're thinking about doing whatever means, gaining these things by whatever means necessary. They're not thinking about the heavenly spawn Jake, because really only applies with Jake. They're not thinking about the heavenly Father. They're not thinking about Yahweh Shai. They're not thinking about the scriptures. They're thinking about whatever Esau gives them to focus on, man. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom. Yabashim Yashab Hashem Kakadash. Shalom.